Imagine the best meal you ever had. Where were you sitting? Do you imagine yourself sitting in a restaurant in Orlando? I'm Phil Cruz, and welcome to the Orlando Real Estate Lifestyle. Today, we're going to be talking about Orlando's food scene and the Michelin star rating system and the Michelin rated restaurants right here in Orlando. Look, people travel around the world, sometimes seeking out Michelin star rated restaurants. When my brother proposed to his wife, he flew up to New York City and took her to a Michelin star rated restaurant on his way to the darkest place in the United States on the east of the Mississippi River so that he could propose to her under the most starry skies. Unfortunately, when he went to propose, it was cloudy. So he said, "Hey, Katie, look up. There's supposed to be the blackest, most beautiful sky at night above you. Will you marry me? It's cloudy. Oh, well, at least we got to go to a Michelin star rated restaurant." Guess what? She said yes, and they're doing great. My point is, people travel because of these Michelin rated restaurants. And now Orlando has a bunch. Orlando's food scene, if you don't know, is super robust and extremely diverse. You have the traditional tourist based restaurants that are really high end. You got Universal City Walk, you got all the hotels around Universal Studios with some really nice restaurants. Of course, a lot of the Disney hotels and resorts have extremely good restaurants, some of which are Michelin star rated now, but you don't have to go down by the parks. You can go in downtown Orlando. You can go up in Winter Park. You can go in Audubon Park, Baldwin Park, all the parks. You can go on Curry Ford in the Hourglass District. There's Michelin star rated or Michelin suggested restaurants all over Greater Orlando. Some are expensive, some aren't expensive, some are American, some are Cuban, a lot of them are Asian. It's so good. Obviously, today I'm going to be talking about those restaurants and I'm going to give you my favorite on those Michelin star lists here in Orlando, but also how does that system work? Why does a Michelin star rating? I want you to help you understand it and what it means for Orlando. Before I dig into all those details, though, remember, I am a real estate agent, and one of my main lead sources are listeners and viewers like you. When it's your time to make a major real estate decision, give me a call. Find me online, Phil Cruz. That's Cruz with a K, Kruse. My cell phone number is embedded in the description on YouTube or on Spotify or wherever you're listening to this. A portion of all my real estate commissions go to charity. If you work with me and I receive a commission for helping you sell or buy your home, I'm going to donate a portion of my commissions to the New Image Youth Center, where I volunteer every Wednesday, or to a charity of your choosing. I love giving back to our community, and I'm going to do it every single time I do business with you out there listening or watching. Find me on social media. I'm very active on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Again, go on any of those platforms, search for Phil Cruz. That's Cruz with a K, Kruse. Put Orlando, put real estate at the end. You're going to find me. Orlando didn't have any Michelin star rated restaurants until 2000. So as of this recording, 2025 just started. So we've really only got 2 years for having Michelin star rated restaurants in Orlando. Why? That doesn't make any sense. No city in Florida. We have Miami, one of the most famous cities in the entire world. No Michelin star rated restaurants until 2022. What is going on? Well, the Michelin rating system is a business after all. And there's a little bit of romanticism tied to it. But at the end of the day, Visit Florida, which is a marketing arm of the state of Florida, funded by our taxpayer dollars from our sales tax dollars, Visit Florida convinced the Michelin star people, the Michelin rating guide folks, to come into the state and say, hey, come give us some stars. I believe they paid him to do so, if I'm not mistaken. So the Michelin guide folks came in 2022 and went all around the state and passed out 15 Michelin stars to different restaurants over around the state of Florida. So we have 14 single star rated restaurants in Florida and 1 2-star in Miami. If you're not familiar with the Michelin rated system, I'll get into it more later, but the most you can get is 3 stars. So 1, 2, or 3 stars. And we got a few here in Orlando. We have some in Miami, as I alluded to, and some in Tampa. Sorry, Jacksonville, you got none. Anyway, do you think that all major cities in the United States have Michelin star restaurants? That's not true. There's only 5 regions in the whole United States that actually have Michelin star rated restaurants. Obviously, New York, Chicago has it, California as a state has a bunch, and Washington, D.C. That's it, other than now Florida. Florida is an amazing state. We have so many people flocking here, thousands of people moving here every single day. And the majority of those people are coming to Orlando, and then the rest are going to Tampa, Miami, Jacksonville, the Village, Fort Myers, what have you. But now we have Michelin star rated restaurants to add to the fact that we have no state income tax and everything's like, so beaches, the springs, you name it. I love. Now, does the Michelin name sound familiar to you? So if you grew up in the 80s and 90s like I did, you saw the Michelin Man. I think he's older than that, much older than that. An advertising invention from the Michelin tire company. He's a big fat dude made of tires. Okay, so there's Michelin tires. That is the same exact company. That's the same name. Michelin tires is the Michelin Guide. Michelin is a French company, a French tire company. And back in the 1920s, some genius, marketing genius, came up with an idea to sell more tires. And he or she, probably a guy back in the 20s and 40s, got to say, he came up with a travel guide and said, hey, go to all these different restaurants throughout Europe so that you have to drive more to get there. And then you're going to have to buy more Michelin tires. It sold more tires and it's worked clearly because here we are 100 years later, and it's the gold standard for ranking restaurants. Later, they added additional layers of rankings to the Michelin Guide. So I already mentioned the 1, 2, and the 3-star ratings. Since then, they have added a Bib Gourmand rating. It's a fun name, right? If any of your kids out there watch Wild Kratts, the crazy chef in that TV show is named Gourmand. It's an expression for a glutton, basically. And then so they have Bib Gourmand, and then they have recommended. Okay, so those are kind of the 2 other ranking systems. If something's ranked Bib Gourmand, it's defined as a quality restaurant offering good value for good money. Okay. And then the recommended one is just defined as good cooking. So with the recommended one, you're going to see a lot more diversity and kind of a wider swath, whereas Bib Gourmand is kind of more dialed in, where the very high quality is coupled with a more affordable price. I love the Michelin list, especially as it pertains to Orlando, because for me, it's a snapshot, a representation of real Orlando. Yes, we have some Michelin star rated restaurants located on Disney property and Disney resorts, but the vast majority, especially if you bring in the Bib Gourmand and the recommendations, almost all of them, all of those restaurants are located in and around the downtown Orlando area. Like I said before, Winter Park, Audubon Park, Baldwin Park. You got Papa Llama's located in the Hourglass District, and the list goes on, and it highlights the diversity. All right, Papa Llama's a Peruvian restaurant. Otto's High Dive's a Cuban restaurant. Again, you have multiple Asian restaurants. If you've been anywhere around downtown Orlando for long enough, you've gone to the Mills 50 district. There's a little Vietnam area. There's pho restaurants everywhere, and a number of these Bib Gourmand or recommended restaurants are Asian themed, and they're in that general area. So we're so lucky to have so much diversity of culture here in Orlando, and you have chefs coming here and planting their flags or being homegrown and creating restaurant groups and opening up such great, unique restaurant concepts. I'm going to get more into that later, but it's just, it fills me with so much joy and gratitude for me to live in Orlando, for me to be selling homes to people that are moving to Orlando or solidifying their roots and growing their roots. And I just love Orlando so much. I can't say much. So let's move forward here. Enough of my gushing about Orlando. As of the new 2025 guide just came out, and they added 4 more restaurants to Orlando. Now, so currently we have 7 1-star restaurants located in Greater Orlando, only 2 of which are on Disney property. So you have 5 1-star rated restaurants in and around downtown. We have 11 Bib Gourmand, and we have 34 recommended, or now they're calling them selected restaurants. And the 4 new ones that just got added are Coro in Audubon Park. Okay, so right by Baldwin Park. You have Sorokara in Baldwin Park. You have Unigirl. This is really cool because it's actually located inside of an Asian grocery called Mills Market. It's kind of a market concept inside of a building. No, it's not the Mills Market on 903 Mills where I get my meatloaf sandwich and my veggie burger wrap. I love that place. This is a different place. Super cool, this Uni Girl concept. And then Omu by Jaunt. I think I'm saying that right. There's a lot of hat accents and so forth on that one. That's located there in Winter Park. So many great restaurants in Winter Park. I mean, we're so blessed. So we got four more. Of the 7 one-star restaurants on the list, I want to highlight and restate about Papa Llama. Papa Llama to me deserves to stand out. A lot of people don't even know where it is. It's one of those restaurants that you've probably driven by a million times and never even noticed it. It's in an old, dilapidated, well, outdated, I should say, strip mall right there in the Hourglass District, right next to the Winn-Dixie Shopping Center that's there on Curry Ford and Crystal Lake Drive. So right in the heart of the Hourglass District. It's very small. It's hard to get a table. You need to book it in advance. It's actually a 1-star rated Peruvian restaurant. Think seafood, quiche, great chicken dishes. By the way, if you want to check out another great Peruvian restaurant that's not going to be expensive, Papa Llama is going to be pretty pricey because it's a 1-star rated Michelin restaurant. Check out Braz's Chicken over in the Soto Conway area off South Orange in Holden or Gatlin, in that where that bad intersection is. They got great rotisserie chicken and great ceviche as well. Of the 11 Bib Gourmand restaurants, I want to highlight Domu. I love ramen. Look, I'm a health nut, but you know what? I'm going to splurge from time to time and I'm going to get my carbs in. Domu has for me the best ramen in all of Orlando. We have a number of great ramen restaurants. There's another good one in downtown Orlando. The name escapes me, but Domu is one of the best, and the Michelin Guide agrees with me. It's the Bib Gourmand, so super high food quality, but a very affordable price. Look, ramen's not that expensive. It's a bowl of noodles, but you can go there, have a gourmet dining experience. They have a great cocktail lounge while you're waiting for your table. You got to get their crispy fried chicken wings, so good. And there is no reservations. Show up early and be prepared to wait as long as an hour and a half to 2 hours sometimes. Otto's High Dive, I'm going to highlight also. I mentioned them before. For me, the best Cuban restaurant in Orlando. I'm from Miami. Okay. I know a thing or two about Cuban restaurants and Cuban culture. Otto's High Dive just does it different. They put a little twist and a little flair on the Cuban offerings. Best ropa vieja in town. It's just so good. It's not tough at all. Great desserts and awesome cocktails located right there in the Milk District behind Stasio's Deli off of Robinson. A great, great spot. Now we got the 34 recommended or selected on the Michelin Guide restaurants. And I'm going to highlight a few of those. Tori Tori, great cocktail lounge. It gets packed on the weekends and they do a great job of throttling how many people are in or out. You're going to have to wait in line to get in sometimes. And chef and owner as Domu. So you got the same quality. You got to try their fried chicken thighs. So good. I think they have the chicken skin. Oh my gosh. It's just really good. Great cocktails as well. Unfortunately, their Curry Ford location just recently closed. It's not a great spot, that little strip mall they had, but their main location, kind of a little farther north there in the Mills Park area, is rocking. It's a great place, especially if you're bar hopping in that area. Kabuki Sushi is on the recommended list. So, so good. Also there in the Mills 50 area, amazing sushi. The bluefin tuna sampler they have there is to die for. Pizza Bruno, come on. Bruno's doing such a great job. He just opened up a third location over in Maitland in a food hall up there. I interviewed Bruno Zucchini. He's got a great story. You know, his family, he's from his background. His grandparents had a traveling circus in Europe and moved over here, the Flying Zucchinis. Bruno's a character. If you want to check out my interview with Chef Bruno from Pizza Bruno, it's there. You'll find it in the library of my podcasts on YouTube or wherever you're listening to your podcast. And then the last one I want to highlight is Bacan. Bacan is over in Lake Nona. There's a couple of other nice restaurants on these lists in the Lake Nona region. Bacan's in the Wave Hotel. The Wave Hotel is gorgeous. In it of itself, walking through the Wave Hotel is an experience. Great artwork. And then they have a sculpture garden out in the courtyard, and Bacan is right there. So you can go put your name down for a reservation. They have a great cocktail lounge. And then you can go outside and walk the grounds and enjoy the arts. It's kind of a Latin, kind of Miami-ish vibe. Really, really great food. Look, Orlando, for me, is the best city in the United States. Our amazing and underrated food scene is finally getting its due. It's day in the sun. If you don't think Orlando has an amazing food scene, you are incorrect. You need to check out Magical Dining. I believe that's usually in August, where a lot of these restaurants reduce their prices and offer a price fixed menu for like 30 bucks and you could sample things. Keep that in mind and go on the Michelin guide. I'll link to it in the product description, or just Google Michelin guide Orlando. You'll find all the information there. Orlando is so good. No state income taxes. We have so many people moving here, and believe it or not, our real estate prices are actually below all the other major cities I said and regions: California, Chicago, Washington D.C., New York City. These are some of the most expensive cities in the entire country. Orlando's not even close to them with real estate prices, and we are right on there, on par with them in some cases, with our food scene. And you don't have the craziness of those, and the hustle and bustle of those cities, and we don't have that cold weather. Like, it's winter time right now, and I'm wearing just a long sleeve shirt. It's a great time to be in Orlando. And if you have any real estate needs here in Orlando, or you have a friend or a family member that does, point them my way. Phil Cruz, that's Cruz with a K, Kruse. A portion of all my real estate commissions go to charity. I'm an expert listing specialist. I can help you sell your home fast and at the highest price using something called the auction effect. I have an entire episode devoted to that. Check out my podcast, like and subscribe, hit the bell on YouTube, or subscribe on your different platforms, and turn on your notifications so that you get a notification every Monday morning when I drop a new podcast. Some of them are about Orlando lifestyle, like this. Some of them are very real estate specific. A lot of them are interviews with local business leaders, like restaurateurs like Bruno, philanthropists. I interviewed Shantae Barton Stubbs of the New Image Youth Center, where I volunteer every Wednesday. And of course, follow me on social media. Just Google Phil Cruz. That's Cruz with a K, Kruse. Drop me a line. I look forward to hearing from you soon. And always know that your best life in Orlando is within reach. Keep embracing every moment. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Cheers. Have a great one.